Got all the team on here, Chris?
Yeah, let me just check. Got Al Harith, Andy. I think we're waiting on Oliver still.
Okay, so we'll kick off because I know time is precious. This is the customer services program contact center consolidation team show and tell. We are new to the customer program, so I managed to convince Shiraz to let me and the team take this one and share with you our journey to date. So you'll be hearing about our journey, what consolidation is, and it's not debt consolidation, which is what I actually thought when I first joined the program, but I'm not sure I told you that, Shiraz. And how the team have taken a typical waterfall project and embraced agility to essentially deliver through our ways of working, pace and value to achieve the customer program's vision. So without further ado, I'm going to go in and meet the team. So we've got myself as delivery manager, Toby, Andy, Uchenna, Chris, Al Harith and Oliver. We will post the slides so you can get to read all of these. This is the team that is the core team, and we are supported by the wider team from the customer program. We've got Shiraz. So do you want to give us a wave, Shiraz? There he is, Nikki Spencer, Geraldine, Sunny and Nick all supporting us to make sure that we continue at pace and we are continuing to deliver value. They're the people that help us prioritise what we are delivering to ensure that we continually meet the vision of the customer services programme. So, customer services program, contact center consolidation team. Shiraz, did you want to cover this slide?
Entirely up to you, Helen.
Yeah, it'd be nice for you to introduce because you're our product owner.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Good afternoon all. I'm Shiraz Yaqub. I'm head of customer experience and customer program, working on the customer program. One of the work streams that I am currently leading on is around customer consolidation. If anybody doesn't know what customer contact consolidation means, what we're looking to do is to further increase the level of customer experience and customer service and delivering the right value and outcomes to our customers through the corporate contact centre. So here at Birmingham City Council, we have got almost 1,000 identified services within Birmingham that we deliver to our customers. Contact across a number of channels is all managed differently. Some within the corporate contact centre, some within directorate-based, I would say, satellite contact centres. So in order to kind of like get the right consistency, the right level of experience across a number of channels, what we're looking to do is to bring more services in on top of the 25 services that are already in operation within the contact centre, be that they're the high demand services. And what we're looking to do as part of this project is to increase the number of services coming into the contact centre being delivered by the telephony and back office channels that we've got. We've been doing some work around looking at what high demand satellite contact centres are being offered across the council. Some are already using contact centre technologies to help support their customer experience and their communication, others not so. So our target approach has been to look at those services that we know a lot more about at the moment, and that's our first stab at bringing additional services into the contact centre. So some of the services that we're looking at as part of this programme is going to be the bereavement services that manages all our cemeteries, our funerals, cremations within Birmingham, registrars who deal with our births, deaths and marriages. We've got adults client financial services who deliver financial support to adults within the city of Birmingham, accounts payable, receivable, business rates and highways, which for this particular work are in scope, but we've deferred them due to other priorities that are going on in those areas. So hopefully this team will help support these 5 services going forward in kind of like reducing the number of complaints that we're getting for these services, improving the customer satisfaction, improving the end-to-end experience across a number of channels, leading to a more focused service that's managing complexity and managing user needs, especially in the cases of vulnerability.
Thank you, Shiraz. So I'm going to hand you over in a minute to Andy Rogers, but what I have noticed and I did want to share is that the contact centre is really the jewel in the crown flagship operation at Birmingham City Council. Many years ago, I 2P'd over from Capita and into Birmingham City Council, and already then it was extremely high performing. So the more services we can get in there, the better service experience and user experience we're going to give to our customers of Brum, of which I am one. Just before I hand over to Andy as well, previously consolidations have been delivered by an external partner. This is why it's really key that we take this on within BCC and we deliver this for the customer program, and we get a repeatable and scalable delivery method of doing this delivery, because as you can see there's nearly 1,000 there and will take me way beyond pension age. Okay, over to you, Andy. Are you there, Andy Rogers?
You're on mute,
Yeah,
Andy.
I was on mute.
Hello.
Yes, I'm Andy Rogers, Senior Business Analyst on this project. Just like to talk about the way that we've approached this project, the different phases that we've laid out. And the first phase for us, having identified some areas where there's potential for consolidation, first phase we've taken is the initial discovery, which is basically like a fact find on that area. We're looking at things like the channels where you can make contact with this service area, such as via email, phone or web content, the volumes of calls, emails that might come through, some brief work but not detailed process work on like the nature of that content. What do people tend to phone or email in about? We're also doing a look at the staff, the roles and the budget, so that side of the area, and we've gained further insights by doing user research, looking at the web content online, looking at the situation regarding customer feedback and complaints, and then from that information extrapolated that out and then made observations about interesting things that we've observed, but also then gone on to say, well, here's some opportunities for improvement. So that's what we've been doing in the initial discovery phases, and we've done 3 and one's very well advanced, so 4 really. Future phases after this initial discovery phase that we're doing on each area will be to do a deeper look into with agreement of the service area head of service, to do a deeper look at the different processes that we really see good potential to consolidate into the contact centre. And in that, we'll be really looking in detail at the processes, potential for improvement, any quick wins there, with a view to quickly like bringing them over and going to phase 3 gaining agreement from the head of service and from our senior stakeholders like Shiraz that we're going to consolidate them. And so there'll be a lot of work after the deep dive phase in consolidating each service area where there's good potential into the contact center. So that really covers that slide. Yeah.
Lovely.
Now handing over to Oliver.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Thanks. And yeah, I'm Oliver, the Service Design in Consolidation team. So this diagram is kind of a guidance. So it's initial discovery phase, which has been mentioned before. So the purpose of doing this is that we are concerned that we got a lot of service area to discover in the future. So we just think it's going to be beneficial if we summarize our process of initial or deep discovery process, so that our team can have this kind of experiential guidance to follow in the future. And I think how we do this, so we, based on our experience of implementing some couple initial discovery for the couple services, and also we combined the previous consolidation experience we gained from the service area. So we got this kind of draft of the process map. Then we send it back to the team to get their feedback. Then we iterate it. So it's not set in stone. We still kind of keep refining as we go. Yeah, it's gonna definitely enhance our efficiency of work and help us to get the outcome that we trying to get. Next one, please.
Brilliant. Page down button working. Page down. With a technical glitch.
Okay,
Yep. So I'll take up from here. So this is just our culture, our core values, and the way we have worked as the team, the core consolidation team. So admittedly, we do have quite a small team, so we do have it's advantageous in a lot of manners, and I guess we covered in the slide. So to begin with, there's a culture of boldness, so we can speak up, culture of empowerment. So for example, team members can speak up whenever they want to. We encourage open dialogue, which means that decisions are better, and it can also lead to innovation. It avoids conflict as well. Again, because we can speak whenever we want, it stops stuff from escalating, and the environment's quite healthy and open. And that leads on to curiosity, where we can ask questions. And the advantages of that is problem solving, and especially continuous learning. So normally what happens, and although it's technically not a bad thing where you fail and then you learn something from failing, because again the team's quite small, we often can ask any sort of questions and query anything whenever we want, because we have the liberty to do so. And it means we can pick up information from others rather than doing a piece of work, doing something and then failing, and then it becomes blocked and an inconvenience, and then we learn from that. So yeah, that's another advantage we have in the team. Again, collaboration as well. We work together very well, cross-functional synergy. So we don't work in silo. We work every day. Well, at least once a day we meet up. And I'll give you an example. For example, there hasn't been much UR to do as of yet in terms of traditional UR. So Chris and I, we've done a decent bit of business analysis shadowing. It means that we picked up a lot of what the BAs do. So although technically it's not in our remit, it's good that we know what the other people in the team are doing, just so just so the outputs that we produce, so the reports we produce and everything's kind of in sync, and it's not broken. It doesn't look like, you can't really tell that it's one person's and it's another person's and that. It's like a continuous piece of documentation, almost as if one entity's created the whole thing. Yeah, that was it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Great, thanks, Al Harith. Well, I'm Chris. I'm one of the user researchers on this project along with Al Harith. And I'm just going to give a quick rundown of our methodology and what we've been doing to get this forum consolidation. And like Al Harris said, one of our key words really is collaboration. And what that gives us is this wide range of perspectives and expertise going into everything. And also the assurance of knowing that all our actions and plans have been agreed on jointly and everyone's on the same page. So if that's our value, how do we apply that principle of collaboration? Well, a lot of our time is spent researching the service areas. And most of that is done through interviews with subject matter experts, where we talk to members of the service area to learn about how their team is structured, what kind of work they do, what correspondence they receive and in what volumes, how they process customer inquiries and requests and things like that. We also conduct desk research, including reading through service websites, listening to recorded calls, and analysing website hits in call volumes, like Andy mentioned earlier. And with all that, we produce our reports. So first the initial discovery and then a deep dive in the services which require it. And in those reports, we include a narrative and sets of recommendations. So really, we're gathering that data, and we're not just gathering it, but we're letting it speak to and giving it a message. To organise ourselves, to get that work done, we have our daily stand-ups, a retro every 3 weeks, and planning sessions. Those ceremonies really help us ensure that we're aligned because we're clear on our actions and also on our goals in the short, medium, and long term. And it also gives us adaptability because we can respond to changes in circumstances, as well as reflecting on what's gone well or what maybe needs changing in our approach and ways of working. So final quick thing about our method, which I'll talk about here. We divide the work and structure our time using agility and a form of Kanban. So we write Jira tickets based on the different headings in our documents and various other actions like setting up meetings. And then those tickets can often be reused. So we'll produce one master set of tickets for one ID document, and then we can repeat those. And what that means is that we have a standardized, repeatable process in place for future services or even future teams who are doing the research. Those tickets, we write them with user stories, acceptance criteria, and story points. And from that, we get a really clear shared understanding of the work that needs to be done and also the timescales involved. Because based on those tickets, we can give each service a t-shirt size, and that helps give us a broad understanding in terms of how many weeks, of how long that would take. And that's, I don't know if David Lilly is on the call. He's not a fan of assigning time values to the story points, but we're using it because we're still learning. And that gives us a good kind of broad idea of what we should be looking at in terms of how we spread out our time and how long things could take. So, thanks, Helen. This is just a quick illustration of our Jira board as of last Friday. So how we use it, each week we forecast our capacity for the following week. And then based on that, we pull tickets from the long list into plan for this week based on the number of story points that we should be able to do as a team. And then we assign the tickets to ourselves, and move those across the different swim lanes until they're done. At the end of the week, we reflect on how far that completed work has matched our forecast capacity. So basically, we can understand if we're being realistic with our timelines or if we maybe need to adjust downwards or if we can fit slightly more in. And that all helps us work at pace with shared oversights of everything that's going on and allows us to identify any blockers and any review work that needs doing. So that's just a quick overview of our method and how we've been working. Now Uchenna is going to demo some of our documents which have come out of that.
Thank you, Chris. My name is Uchenna. I'm the business analyst on the project. I'm supporting Andy on the project. So these are the documents that we've created for the ID phase, initial discovery. That's ID. DD means deep dive phase. So we have a kickoff template. That's what we used. We used to speak with the heads of service before starting any research on their area, so they are aware of what we're doing, how we want to do it, who we're going to speak to, how long it's going to take to do it. They familiarize themselves with our process, basically, and they give us the go-ahead at the meeting to go ahead with the research. Then when we're done getting the information we need, we create an ID main report. This report is about, on the average, 60 pages, 50 to 70. Sometimes it goes over 70 pages too. For each of them, that's where we capture the main findings of the reports. And then we do an overview summary reports. We summarize the main reports into about 2 to 3 or 4 pages. That just gives a snapshot of the key findings, the main things that we found, our recommendations, especially, and any opportunities for improvement. And after doing that, we present our findings, our recommendations, our findings back again to the service areas, to the heads of the service, and the managers of the service, just to reconfirm what we found out from them, if it's true, and to see if we can get the go ahead again to move into the deep dive phase. For the deep dive phase, we're doing basically the same kind of reports, but this time there's an inclusion there of the process design reports, because at this phase, this is where we're going to go deeper into the consolidation by drawing maps of the phone contact and email contact processes. That's what's going to be contained in that report. The rest are the same with the ID phase, but just in more detail. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so we try to capture some part of the pages where we use for these documents. This is the kickoff documents that we've used. So you can see the subheadings there. We capture the main process, we capture the sub processes, we get the names of the subject matter experts that we're going to speak to, and then we use this document again, to capture a description of what the service looks like, what is running like, how the email and phone contact is being run at the moment. We capture the systems that are used, the technology that's being used. We also capture the risks involved and the issues that may be involved, and the staff, the number of staff that work on that process. Next slide. Okay, this is the main report. We just try to capture the table of contents. It's not complete, it's just 3. It runs down to about 11 or 12. This is where we document everything that we found out from the research. Starting with the executive summary that just details the purpose of what we're doing, our approach. That's the strategy side of it, and the methodology side of it. Then we now go down to the analysis itself, the calls, number of calls, average handling time, etc. We do the analysis there, get all the details we need for the emails, what kind of training they have, what kind of knowledge they have, the staffing, the structure of the organization. And then at the end of it, we're writing our observations and recommendations too. And then for this is the summary report. It's just a summary of the last one that we just spoke about. The main findings from there, this is where we document them. Next slide. Is there the next slide? Okay, yeah. So I'll hand over to Oliver to talk through the progress, where we are now.
Thanks, Chena. So yeah, so in under last 8 weeks, our team has collaboratively achieved some goals and also have did some wonderful work. So what we've done so far, for example, we've created the repeatable, scalable initial discovery template to kind of capture and record the information in different service areas. And also we created a corresponding Jira ticket to kind of assign different tasks to different team members. And we also got our discovery phase process map and used for the future service area. And we also got our user research strategy created and set up the options to deliver the value, even in time-constrained environment. And we also introduced and baselined the T-shirt estimation for future ID phase discoveries, which we have shown before, and also we create an 8 story points on Jira board to kind of help us to manage the capacity of the team members. We also completed initial discovery report for 3 services already. So yeah, also following baseline process. So yeah, that is what we've done in those weeks. Reflection. Who gonna take off this one?
Sorry, Helen, I think you just skipped a slide.
Yeah,
Oh.
if we just go back 1 slide, please, to 15.
There you go.
PowerPoint.
Is that it? Page 15? Is this yourself, Andy?
Mine's showing 16.
Oh,
No, it's loaded.
15, right. Yeah. So the value and what we've delivered and what we've achieved. We'll think we've already started to help BCC, like to identify and make use of greater efficiencies across the services, particularly with regard to contact. What we've been able to do is create a standard set of processes and documents that can be reused for every new service area. So, you know, and then there's like a lot of Kanban board content like Jira tickets, etc., and report templates, which we've shown you already, which again can be reused. So that's all work that we've got in the bag, but we can just take that off the shelf, clone it, and then use it for the next service area. And that will help with any future consolidation projects. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of them. Right. So another thing that we've managed to achieve as well, Chris has a lot of, and I'll have the credit for, is creating like a user research strategy for this project, again, which I'm sure they'd be happy to share with any other projects as well. And that gives us a, you know, a strategy for, you know, gaining all that further insight on what happens in reality, you know, with call handling and email handling. So far, in terms of this, like solid documents we've looked at is we've done the ID phase for bereavements, registrations, and client financial services. So in those, we've talked about all the volumes for the different types of contact. We've done brief descriptions on what the nature of that contact is, who handles it, what our insight and observations are there from user research, what the customer feedback is, and also suggested like improvements all around, and then shared that, and then got feedback from the heads of service and other senior stakeholders like Shiraz to say, okay, which of these service areas do you actually want to go ahead with into deep dive? Right, so I'm going to now hand over to Chris for the reflections.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, so to wrap things up, or nearly wrap things up, we thought it would be nice to reflect on what's gone well, but also on some challenges we faced and how we try to overcome them. So I think one of the main things to start off with in terms of what's gone well is it's a great environment to work in. It's a small team, as you can see, and there's no kind of real pronounced hierarchy. And as a result of that, everyone feels really valued and respected as part of the team. And then that itself has been, I think, really great motivation for doing the work and sharing ideas and suggestions and sometimes reservations as well. Being a small team also gives us that agility and speed because we don't need to find a time which suits loads of people, but can instead just put things in quickly or at short notice with a smaller bunch of people if things change unexpectedly or we need to adapt to something. So linked to that, like Al Harif put really well earlier, We have really good frequent communication across various channels, so meetings, but also the team chats and the different teams channels themselves that we have. And that has helped make us productive, but no less importantly, it's helped make it, again, a really just nice open space to work in, whereas they're kind of sharing ideas and kind of seeing how everything's going. And it's a good, productive environment. And so finally, again, building on that, we've been able to reflect and learn as we go along. So our methodology now, as I skated over earlier, is quite different in some places from what we started out with. And that's because we've been building on what we've been learning. And some of that has included keeping to time on single issue meetings and stand-ups, changing when we have stand-ups in the week, the format of our retros, and how we plan and implement different research sessions. And so all of those things have helped us achieve in quite a short space of time what Andy and Oliver have just been laying out. So that's an idea of what's gone well, but of course in any project there are always going to be challenges. And being a small team, that gives us flexibility on the one hand, but also it means we lose a big proportion of our overall capacity when someone's away. And obviously absences can't always be avoided, so we try to get around that by trying to structure our work in a way that other members of the team can pick things up. So if someone knows they're not going to be there for a meeting, if it can't or shouldn't be rearranged, we try to have the structures in place that someone else can lead on it and get the information that we need. So another issue is that service areas are understandably often very, very busy. So we've been trying for a while to get in touch with accounts payable, but it being almost the end of the tax year when we first contacted them, they obviously had lots to do over March and April. So because most of our research is done through meetings with the service areas, this obviously holds things up periodically. The main solution there, we can't give the service area more time, but what we can do is review our own ways of working to see how we can make the best use of our time. Seeing how much can be done independently through desk research, for instance, or if there's any non-synchronous ways we can get the research done. So, for example, rather than asking the service area to give us certain information or documentation in a meeting, is there anything we can give them that they can do in their own time and then feed it back to us? So that's a couple of ways that we try to get around busy service areas and spinning lots of plates at the same time. So finally, another challenge in how we're actually conducting our research. Data like the call numbers that we have through various platforms and website hits through Google Analytics and Jadu are often incomplete or only available in a limited sample. So ideally, we'd obviously like a full 12-month sample for all the bits of data, and that's just sometimes not been available based on how things have been recorded. And again, there's not really any quick fix there. If the data's not there, it's not there. And there's no way we can magic it back up. So what we have to do is we work with what's available, and we just provide caveats in our analysis and say we're presenting conclusions based on shared expertise, so from the team and from the service area, and from a limited data set. And they're just the ways we have to couch our own overall arguments. So that is a quick kind of reflection on what's gone well and maybe some of the challenges we faced. So I'll now pass back to Helen for the project's next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Uchenna. Thank you, Alhara. And thank you, Oliver. Absolutely brilliant representation and show and tell material. Shout out to Chris for pulling together the deck, and I hope that's given everybody a flavour of what we're doing. Are there any questions? Any questions? Because we've got, oh, Julie.
Hi, Helen. Yeah, that was really interesting. Thank you so much. I'm really interested in the templates that you mentioned in the beginning, things like the executive summary. I must admit, when you said it was kind of running to 50 pages, I was kind of thinking, wow, that's quite a lot of information there. But I'd be really interested to learn who's using that information and what it's being used for, because I noticed that you've got a summary as well. But yeah, I'd really like to learn more about that, please.
Yeah, no, of course. There's a couple that we can probably show you, but I'll just check with Shiraz first. It's mainly got a lot of data in there about calls and the processes. Any other questions? So we've got a little Mentimeter finale to finish with. We wanted to be able to shape our next show and tell, so it was more along the lines of what you wanted to see, and find out what you liked today. So there's only, I think, 3 questions. Oliver, can you pop the QR code up for me, please? So we're just going to pop that up, and then hopefully we'll be finished with 15 minutes to spare. If anybody does have any questions, then please pop them in the chat or reach out to the team. But we will be featuring on each customer services programme show and tell going forwards now. So let's check if we've got any in the chat. You all right, Oliver? Craig.
Hello, sorry about that. Yes, there's no chat showing, by the way.
Oh, yeah, and I think there's something up with Teams today, isn't there? It's
Yeah.
You can send me direct. That's no problem.
No worries.
So did you have a question, or was it you're going to
No,
I
was just pointing out there's no chat. That's all.
Oh, that's a bit strange, isn't it? That's very odd. Oh, Shiraz, you've got it. Oliver, have you got the Mentimeter?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're not going to get me to sing, are you, to do a bit of a filler?
My laptop is frozen here, so apologies for that. But if you go back to the slides, so there's a page. I put the QR code and
Right. Okay.
the password.
Okay. Oh, I've just realised I'd missed one of the slides. Oh dear me. Right. Okay. Let's. This is live. Phil, a bit like a Roland Rat. Anybody who's of the age who knew Roland Rat, right? Stop sharing. Let's have a look. I bet everybody's frantically googling Roland Rat now. So I'll send these slides out, but what's just about to come up is this is our roadmap. You can see it's quite busy. We've got plenty going on to keep us all busy and occupied. And here is the Mentimeter. So what do people have to do here, Oliver?
So if you use your other device, for example, your phone, to scan the QR code and go to your survey, then you can see all of these questions. Or if you don't want to use phone not on your hand, you can just Google Mentimeter. Then at the home page, they'll ask you to fill in the code. So I'll put the code in the chat. So if you just put that code in that box, then you can go to the survey as well. Give me a second.
Don't forget we can't see the chat.
So can everybody access the Mentimeter code on their phones?
No, because we haven't all got phones.
Oh, okay. All right then. So how do you can you see the chat team? Andy, can we see the chat?
Yeah, I can see the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what we have to do for you, Craig. That's quite strange that you can't see the chat. How many other people can't see the chat? Can you pop your hands up?
Yeah, I can't either, Helen.
Helen, it's because if you join via the link, then you won't get a chat. If you're invited via Microsoft Outlook, then you will see the chat. So if you just join via link, then you won't see it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's really interesting. Thank you. Right. Okay. Got it. So that's interesting. Can anybody access the link on via their phones?
Helen, Nikki's just posted the link.
Oh,
you can't see it on the chat for those.
It's not helpful if you haven't got access to the chat. Yeah, apologies, guys.
All right, why don't we do this the next time then? Because it seems a bit unfair having it to work for some and not for others.
Yeah,
and what
happy
I'll
with
do
that.
is, we'll do that. because it's got to be 1-4. Okay then, if there's no more questions, we'll close and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you.
Bye.
See you
Thank you.
later.
Bye.
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 Bye.